Hello, 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 hello. We are back again. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Today, today is a special day with us here at our regular program, Opal Reporters and Talk. But before I proceed, I have to give us the basic. Yes, today we are back in the studios for 20 our 23rd episode. Good day, everybody. How's everybody now doing today? We are here today
We
for
good.
who is that there?
Go ahead, say sorry.
Okay, we are here for our 23rd episode. This is Upper Reporters and Talk, where we give our unbiased and unreserved opinion on matters connecting Nigerians or the political, social, and economic welfare of our state. Today is the 6th day of March 2024, and we are here on the 23rd episode of the program. First, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Obizo J. I'm going to be your moderator and your host. And on my screen, depends on how you see it. On my screen, on my left, is my co-host. Please, co-host, introduce yourself.
Yeah, my country people, I greet you now. My name is Tony Edo. I just stream from Japan. I joined from Japan. Today we get a very nice one. We'll get a gubernatorial aspirant. We want to talk to us. So I will give my host back the mic. Very quickly enter the matter. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, my co-host. First of all, I'd like to break it down on the rules. As it is, we on the YouTube, social media, Facebook, etc. If you have your comments, please keep it on the right hand side of the portal. For those of us on StreamYard, if we have any questions, any suggestions, or any opinion, please indicate on the private chat, which is on the right hand side of your screen. Please indicate by putting a fist or putting a hand, indicate a hand sign so we can put you in and let you talk. Today we'll have to be fast, smooth, no too much talking. We have 2 hours as our benchmark, so let us not waste time in any of the things we do. On the other hand, we have a guest with us today, and I have a guest that will be coming in a few minutes. That is by the name of Patience Ndidi. We call her Madam Key. She is the flag bearer for the People's Redemption Party. That is the PRP Party. She will be joining us very soon in the studio. Oh, she has come in. Sorry. Yes, she has. Yes, she will be joining us, and she is the flag bearer for the PRP. She will be here to tell us more about her journey and what she intends as a candidate vying for governorship position in our dear state, Edo State. Yes, today is going to be an interesting one. So please, I would want you. We are not going to keep her here for so long. She's going to tell us a few of her information. Then I need everybody to have their questions down. Questions will be 1 minute. The answers will probably be 2 minutes or 2 minutes 30 seconds because our benchmark is 2 hours. So thank you. She's in the studio now. Madam Patience, thank you for coming and thank you for accepting our invitation to the studio.
Yeah, thank you very much, Obizo. My pleasure to be here.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, Yeah, I basically how this will happen today. I would want you to give us. I read your profile, but I can't just share your profile all around. But I would want you to give us a brief introduction of yourself and tell the people a little about your journey in life, your educational background, and the motivation of this political trajectory. Please, can you tell us?
Thank you again, Obiza, for inviting me to your platform. Greetings to everyone, all our viewers, and your team over there that is officiating, coordinating with you. Thank
Yeah,
you for the
thank you.
opportunity to be present with you guys today. It's my pleasure. I count it a great honor, and I'm humbled to be here. Yeah, like you rightly introduced me, my name is Patience Key, Ndidi Key. I know people have asked a lot about Ndidi. Ndidi is because my mother is from Delta State. So she's from the Igbo speaking part of Delta State, and that's why I have Ndidi as my middle name, Key, because due to marriage to an American. So yeah, my name is Patience Ndidi Key. Like I said before, I was born in Benin City, November 8th, 1973. I was born in this. I went to Exotic Primary School. I went to Semara Goretti. I graduated from Ambrosalo University, Geography and Regional Planning. I left. I relocated to the United States in 2006 due to marriage at the time. Um, and being in the United States, of course, I continued education. We from Edo State, we like school, right? So I have a bachelor's in nursing, and I have an MBA, a master's of business administration. So I'm a healthcare profession by practice and administration. I'm mostly in the administrative part because I own my own small business in the healthcare field, a provider agency where we take care of our clients in the comfort of their homes. I and so yeah, that's what I do. Then in addition to that, I have served in different position in nonprofit organization, starting with Nigerians in Diaspora organization. NIDO is an organization that works closely with the government that be. I actually got to know about NIDO in 2014 when a friend invited me to New Jersey. I live in the state of Maryland in the United States. A friend invited me to New Jersey during the Good Luck President Good Luck administration, and they were talking about Bring Back Our Girls, and she thought it was something that would be of interest to me. She said it's something that I like, and I'm wondering, what do you think that I like? Well, in the long run, I went with her, and I found it very interesting. It was Nigerians all over the United States, even from Canada, gathering at that period, trying to see how they can provide solution to what is happening back home. And at that period, that was when the Chibok girls were kidnapped. So the organization was in very good use in supporting, the Bring Back Our Girls campaign, and they're writing articles, press releases, urging the government to do something about it. So that's how I found myself in Naido. And that same year, 2014, I was at AGM in September. I was still in school, in nursing school then. My kids were very young then. My son was about 5. My daughter was like 3. I told my husband, I think I would like to visit Ohio. And he said, okay, that's fine. So I traveled to Ohio just to know more about this organization that they're urging me to be a part of. And I saw people from Nigeria come, people from all walks of life, and I thought, oh, this is really good. And being at the time I was married to a foreigner, so being close to my people was, it was something that was really exciting to me. And I decided to be a part of the organization. So in 2015, we had 2014 we started, and in 2015 we the Maryland chapter where I reside, we had worked something out, and we started operation. Then I was the president of the chapter at the time, and also I contested for public relation officer on the national board, because as a president of a chapter is an automatic membership to the national board. And after serving for 2 years as a public relation officer, I thought that NIDO needed more than the kind of leadership they had gotten. And I told my team that I was going to contest for the chairman. And I was just like 2.5 years, into the organization. And this organization has been since 2000, it started during the Obasanjo administration. That was when NIDO was created. And as God will have it, I contested and I won the election and became the first female chairman of the organization in the whole of the United States. Like I said earlier, NIDO is an organization that works hand in hand with the government in power. So my administration actually worked with the Buhari's administration. I worked with Lai Mohammed, Abike Dabiri, the former vice president, Osibanjo Onyama, the former foreign affairs, and so many other, leaders, governors, senators, and all that. So we leave our comfort zone, like people would think America is a comfort zone. We leave, we come back home, see, profess solutions, write articles, support all the things we think it's good in Nigeria and all that. But in doing all this, I got irritated by the leadership of my country, Nigeria, when I saw that everything we discussed turned into deaf ears. Like our parents would say, if something, goes into this ear and comes out of the other one. That's what my experience with the Nigerian government, and that was really irritating. In one of our town halls where we hosted President Buhari, our governor, Governor Baseki, was a part of the entourage that came with him. And before then, the organization, through my leadership, we were trying to reach out to my state, being Edo State. And this was because of the human trafficking issues. Being the Nigerians in diaspora, former chairman for the whole of the United States, one of my duty was to work hand in hand very closely with the diplomatic missions. The diplomatic missions, I mean, the Embassy of Nigeria in DC and the 2 other consulates in the United States, which is the one in Atlanta and the other one at New York. So we had close relationship dealing with this issue, not only in the United States, but globally. And I saw that, the trafficking issue was very prevalent in my own state, so I decided, okay, we reached out to all the places, but my own state was very important to me. So I reached out, got information about the former commissioner for justice, Madam Miss Dr. Omoregbe, and I was able to chat with her, talked for a while, and she thought, maybe I was too interested, that I'm not even from Edo State, and that made me laugh. So one day I told her, I said, Madam, I don't think I'm supposed to be from Edo State to save lives or to profess solution in the little way that I can and all that. And one day I told her, Madam, I'm from Edo State, but I don't think I have to be from this state to do anything good for anybody and all that. We went back and forth. Fortunately, when we had that town hall for Buhari, that town hall was organized by NIDO through my leadership and the continental leadership at the time, and Abike Dabiri. I had opportunity of meeting one-on-one with our governor, Governor Baseki. After the meeting, I went straight to him and I told him who have been writing, and I told him what I think the organization can work hand in hand with him in preferring solution in the area of human trafficking. And at the time, he got interested. But when he got back home, the interest was not there. Wouldn't answer the call, the messages anymore. And we didn't stop there, because even if it's not happening, we had other ways of trying to, profess solution onto. So what actually led me into leadership, into politics? I am not a regular politician. I am a people manager. Being in the health field, I deal with people every day. I govern people every day. I treat people every day. I counsel people every day. So for me, people management and resource management is a gift. It's a day-to-day activity. So I know how to relate with the grassroots, and that was what I did as my position in NIDO. So looking at coming to 2018, I was very frustrated seeing that Nigerian people are still agitating to bring back the same administration into leadership. And I told the group I was talking to, my friends at the time, I said, you know what, 2019 is too early. 2023, we will take over Nigeria and hand over Nigeria to Nigerians and tell people how to govern and all that. You know, God has given us the opportunity to be in different climates. Having lived in Nigeria, you know, all the most part of my life has been lived in Nigeria. After I left Edo State in my 30s, you know, I left Nigeria in my 30s. I was not 9 years old or 10 years old. So I knew what I knew before I left. And I've just been in the United States for, you know, about 18 years, 17 going to 18 and all that, you know. So I said that we're going to do that. So, but 2019 was so close, and 2023, that's how I found myself running for presidency, because of the confidence my people had in me and all that. Yes, and I had to look for a party, of course, to be able to do that. Yes, what happened, but we decided not to stop there, because I do not believe in being on WhatsApp, on Twitter, on YouTube, you know, talking about how bad Nigeria is, how bad Edo State is, how bad the government is, then looking for who actually is going to prefer this, prefer the solution, you know, bring the solution to the challenges that we all face. And that was what led me into leadership, into politics. Yes, it is true that I would say I don't, you know, I'm not a politician, but because I'm in politics, definitely I cannot avoid being called a politician. But I went into leadership because of the anger and the hunger imprinted in the faces of the Endo indigenes, of the Nigerian people. And right now, I think is an opportunity, you know, because my state is an off-cycle state. I saw it as an opportunity to also come back home, to start, you know, from home, and see what God can use me working with my people, you know, to be able to do. I believe that when we are able to build a human capital, because people are assets, people are the greatest assets that we have. Without human beings, there is no Edo State. Without human beings, we will not have a community called Edo State or Nigeria or any part of the world. So we have to add value to human beings. We have to help them to you know, to reach their potential, to harness their potentials, you know, in addition with the great resources that God has given the state, you know, to create wealth for the state. So my agenda is, you know, deeply focused on harnessing the human capital, building the human capital to make a great state for us, to create wealth for the people and for the state. That is what I'm running.
Thank you very much. That was that was interesting and very, very educative. Something struck me. You said you ran for the presidential. You ran for the presidential race the last elections, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and did you were you on the ballot till the end?
No, I wasn't. I actually was out after the primaries, the same party, People's Redemption Party. So
Okay.
yeah, I ran till the aspiration stage, where after the primaries. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. You see, this is the point where we have a lot of candidates and a lot of parties, and we have people with so much interest and love for our state. I'd like to know what would be your main focus if you become the governor of Edo State, or when you become the governor of Edo State. Sorry for mind the words I use. I'm trying to be as positive as I can. When you become the governor of Edo State, what are the main areas? What are the main areas? Because I believe you have been to Edo in recent times, and we all have friends and families over there. What will be the major areas that you as a governor will focus on? I'd like to know what major areas, because people these days, the way I've heard people say the governor should tell us one or two things that he or she can do, and that is all. You know, people don't want the governor trying to dabble into various areas where they have unfinished projects. That's what they believe, because they feel the things get too cumbersome. Hence, the end product does not stand tall. So I'd like to know, what are the major areas? What is your major concern, and what areas would you focus on when you become governor?
Thank you very much, Obizo, for that question. You say, with the situation of the state, you see that there's a lot of dilapidation everywhere. A lot of things have gone wrong. Like I said earlier, I grew up in Benin City. I was born in Benin City. I grew up in the state. I saw my both elementary to tertiary education was done in that state. So what I see in Edo State is retrogression. There is no development. I don't see development. I see retrogression. But the good thing is that I see a resilient community, and energetic human beings that actually want to work, but there's no enabling environment for them to be able to do that. There is no level playing field for them to be able to have a grip to advance in anything they want to do. My mother was a civil servant. She retired as a civil servant. My dad was a civil servant. My stepmother also was a civil servant. So I grew up in that grassroots community, and that's, that environment. So the agenda that I'm looking at is the people's agenda, human capital development. When you talk about human capital development, because everything that we do in life is about human beings. We want a population of people who are energetic and who can be productive. And when you want such a society, then you'll be talking about good healthcare, quality healthcare, accessible healthcare, affordable healthcare. Again, you want such population to be educated. Education is not just going to school and having master's degree and having PhDs. It's okay to have all those. But there's something called vocational studies. Now we are in the internet age. And I'm glad that I have Edo citizens and Edo residents that are very talented. So it's going to be very easy. When you create that enabling environment for them, they'll be able to thrive. You won't be making mistakes looking at how impoverished people are and decongesting and removing everything that have made them poor. Today we talk about, crime and migration. Why will people not migrate? Why will people not think that, going through the Mediterranean Sea or Sahara or, bringing up ideas that might destroy their life in the verge of trying to do that will be a solution for them? Why? Because there's no enabling environment. And me being an agile leader, I do not quite agree that I have to come and say, okay, education. Everything in Edo State is dilapidated. We need a good healthcare system. We need good roads, because SMEs, small businesses are key. Those are the engine of every development. If we want a resilient economy, we must develop our small businesses. And how can you develop a small business? How can they thrive if they've no good road for them to transport their bananas, their pawpaw, their plantain from one village to the other, from one village to another city, from one rural areas to another environment? So all those things are important. I'll be looking at how I can embrace the human beings, how we can get down to the roots, the root causes of our problem, touch the grassroots, how we can build our roots, take care of our educational system, make sure the healthcare system is working, make sure our infrastructure is in place. So those are the areas that are very, very important. If we add value to human beings, we will understand that they need good roads to ply upon. And we will not be debating whether a road is a federal road or a road is a local road. Because every road that is centered in Benin City, in Irua, in Ekbuma, in Ukwila, it's in Edo State, and it's Edo people and Edo residents that ply those roads. So if there is danger, it's going to be on my people, not on the federal government, not on the people living in Aso Rock or people in Abuja. So yes, we'll be looking at human capital development, which will reflect having a good educational system, a robust educational system, a robust healthcare system, and an infrastructure that speaks for the good of the people and for our sustainability, which will also help our businesses to thrive.
Thank you very much. Now that's a pleasant one. Yes, I read, heard everything you said for affordable healthcare, education. Yes, these are the basics. And what about security? What do you think about the security? Because you grew up in Benin like every other one of us, probably in the 60, in the 80s, 90s,
Yes.
etc. You did your exotic, that's supposed to be at Airport Road, right? And the University of the Maze Road, AAU, ECOMA, that is a household name. That is what practically all of us in the studio and people watching thinks we those are paths that we all walked upon. But in recent times, what is the security? Are you comfortable with the security in Edo? I'm just bringing these are my personal questions. Are you comfortable with the security state? I'm not talking about Nigeria in general. I'm talking about Edo, the nightlife in Edo. I don't know if you have the last time you went to Nigeria, you experienced or you tried to. Did you have any um, night outing? How comfortable were you when you experienced it? Please tell us on what you think on security in those states.
Of course, the security, this, like you said, is your personal question. It's not personal at all. It's a very cogent question. It's something that we need to talk about. It's a problem in our society. It's a problem in our community that is hungry for fast and quick solution. Yeah, the issue of insecurity, is a big deal. It's a bad effect. It has done a lot. It has brought about premature deaths. Not only in human lives, even in our businesses, in our day-to-day activities. That is what insecurity has caused. And with what I analyzed earlier, when we have employed youths, when we have a society that speaks for the good of the people, that works for the good of the people, that advances the life of the people, in that situation, in that capacity, we will not be having problem with crime. I have told people so many times that, in different climates, you have different challenges and different solutions to the issues of insecurity. In the United States, where I currently reside, when you're talking about insecurity, yes, United States will be thinking of how to equip their battalions, how to make sure, they have drones, they have helicopters that have all the ammunitions, have to put up CCTV cameras to be able to catch their enemies, see them, and all that, parachutes, all those kind of equipments. But in Edo State, is that the same? No, it's not. The main reason we have crime, insecurity in Edo State is because of unemployment, poverty, hunger. And that's why I say one of the reason I'm coming is because I see hunger and anger imprinted. There's a lot of hostility. Our people are hostile because of this. So to be able to do that, we have to look at the root causes of insecurity. Having CCTV cameras all over Edo State, each nook and cranny of Edo State won't solve the problem. Equipping our security agents alone will not solve the problem. If we do all that and the youths, the men, the women, our people are still impoverished, there's no job, there's hunger. You cannot transport your banana that you want to sell in Benin from Irua to Benin, or even if you try to transport, it gets to Ekboma, your vehicle gets down and is broken, and those bananas are destroyed. The family, all you will have is insecurity. People, because it's not everybody that have that energy or that stamina to say, okay, I'm doing my I'm a civil servant. I want to rely on it no matter what comes out of it. Okay, I'm selling only cocoyam. Some people will say, oh, well, I'd rather join Boko Haram. I'd rather go and steal. I'd rather go and sell children for whatever. So the root causes of this app is poverty, is unemployment, is underemployment, is hunger. So if we're able to solve those problems, giving life to people, not dehumanizing the people, adding value to human beings, providing jobs, creating that enabling environment for our youth to thrive, for our women to thrive, for our populace to thrive, then insecurity will be a thing of the past. It will be something that we will not hear again. Like you said, yes, we all grew up in Benin. In the 80s, in the 90s, we didn't have this kind of problems. People still go out, have parties, even if I wasn't that of a party girl, you know. But people go out, enjoy themselves and all that. Now, even if you do it, you're doing it with a lot of caution. You have to go out with a lot of policing, a lot of mopos if you can afford it. So yes, we need to root at the root causes. The root causes: unemployment, hunger, anger, leading to poverty. We have to eradicate that by creating an enabling environment, advancing lives, creating jobs. I want to see a model government, a model form of government. I mean, a government that will work closely with private sectors and other public sectors to build wealth, to create wealth for the state. Then people will be gainfully employed, because it's not just going to work. People can be employed, but what about being gainfully employed? When my mother was a civil servant, I remember those days in primary school, secondary school, during Christmas period, she comes home with a case of pig milk. She comes home with, the turkey, healthy granite oil those days. She comes home with half bag of rice, depending on her qualification in the office. But right now, people have to, look for 5 cups of rice, beg, hungry. So why won't we have insecurity? So those are the root causes, and as long as we take care of those, of which my administration will be focused on eradicating, that's the only way we can have a peaceful environment. When people are smiling, they won't be thinking of how to. Remember, they said the idle mind is the devil's workshop. When people are happy, when people are employed, when they do the things that make them happy, they won't be thinking of how to go and steal, how to carry cutlass, how to kill others. No, we shouldn't be doing that to one another. When we create that enabling environment, when we have a government that sees through the people, that feels the pulse of the people, that speaks for the people, that implements for the people, then Edo will be a state that other states will reckon with, that other states will learn from. And that is the idea I have.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Key. Yes, you have answered my question. Now we have more questions coming in. I hope you are prepared, because the questions will be coming in for the next, let's say, 30 minutes. And so I don't keep you here for more than an hour, actually, unless you want to stay for more than an hour. But so let me start with the first question on my page. It says, what practical step will you take to ensure security and reduce employment? I think you just answered that right now.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the next question. Good evening, madam. What will you do to boost human capital that the current government is not already doing or have infrastructure on ground for? I hope you get the question clearly.
Yes, I do.
Yes, she said, what will you do to boost human capital that the current government is not already doing and have infrastructure on ground for?
There's a difference between an office building, or there's a difference between having just a building and having things being done in that building. Okay, so apart from living in the United States for a long time, till this moment, I work very closely with people that are back home. I, being the former chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora Organization, I work with a lot of youths, women organization, youth organization till present. So I have been in tune with Nigeria for a long time. In a place where human capital, in a state where human capital is being embraced and valued, and value is being added, you will not experience poverty. you will not experience anger and hunger the way we see it in Edo State. So it is because those things are not done. And when you hear people talk, I was in a platform long time, not so much ago, just a few days ago, and people, brought up this question. I have young ones are in Edo State. So if there's something that is called human capital development, my own family members should be enjoying it. I have people in Igwebe. I have people in Benin City. I have people in Uromi. I have people in Ekboma. And so I'm still surprised why none of them. There's a difference between coming to just make a shadow of some things, bring out bosses and say, oh, this is for the civil servant to take take to work to and fro because of the petrol, the gas increase. But so many of them are saying, we hear it is happening, but I've not been able to be a part of it, experience it, feel it tangibly, being a part of it and all that. So yeah, we can have all manner of things. There's a difference between talking and doing. And that's what I see in the present administration, not just in the present administration and some other administration before this administration. We talk, we overpromise and underdeliver. So the administration that is coming, which will be headed by me by the grace of God, will not only talk. I don't believe in talking too much. I believe in implementation. And people will feel it. You will experience it. You will see it tangibly. I see a lot of youth fending for themselves. I just left Edo State like 3-4 weeks ago. My recent visit, and I'm coming back shortly. The campaign has started. I see the people fend for themselves. I talk to the youth. I have people in school, Unipen, Ekboma, Auchi, youth doing a lot of things, those in the creative industries and the rest of it. These people are fending for themselves. So I'm wondering what exactly is the government of the day doing that some of those people are being supported by individuals, some few organizations like ours? Because if those things are being done, then we will see, the people will feel it. So yes, I do not see much being done. I do not see okay, I just told you that I reached out to the government by myself in regards to human trafficking. And I wasn't given an audience. So that should conclude my answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, IK King, yes, I see your hands up. Your question will come after Mr. Obedient AI. Mr. Obedient AI, are you there?
Yeah, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. So what is your question, please?
Yeah, thank you so much, guest speaker. I wish you the very best because you have a very lovely idea, laudable, as in I really commend your effort because these are the area I have been shouting upon over time, like area of human capital development. I'm so happy that you make it at the core of your campaign. And I want to ask in a specific term, I want you to itemize or just tell us what are the specific plan when you talk about human capital development that you want to use to really achieve that goal. And again, the last one, I wish you the best. And I want you to win this election. If I was to be the only person to vote for you, I will give you my vote to God who made me. Like you really, make everything, But the point is that if I need it, because we don't know tomorrow, if it did not go your way, will you support the governor or the whoever wins the election with this idea? But first of all, start with the first one. I don't know how you're going to start, but these are my questions.
Thank you very much, my brother, for that question. In terms of human capital development, how I wish to go about that. I know I answered it before, but of course you want it maybe in another specific way.
Exactly.
I had said earlier that just having a master's degree, bachelor's degree, PhD is not just education. There's something called vocational education, which we all know, technical education. It could be trading, it could be carpentry, it could be hairdressing, for us to be able to support others people. And in human capital development, you're also looking at a healthy population that can be productive in doing these things. And again, this is the digital age. We're going to be having hubs, technology hubs, where our people, our young ones, our women, our boys, our girls will be trained, to meet to meet to meet the gap, and be able to compete with the likes of the owners of Facebook, the owners of Google, the Elon Musk and the rest. These people, they don't have two heads. They have one head. The only thing that makes this kind of people thrive is because of the kind of support they get from the systems, from the climate that they are from. United States support anything that can help their economy to grow. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin today is being supported because it is promoted by the people who want it to grow. Okay? So if we have a coin that represents Edo State, of which one of our brother, had promoted a coin, and we decide to promote that coin as Edo Indigen, and we promote it with everything that we have, and we put all of our resources, bring together agencies, whether and our brothers and sisters in the diaspora to support that very idea. Guess what? It will only blow minds. That is how you hear of Elon Musk today. You hear of Mark Zuckerberg today. You hear of Google today. So yes, we're going to, the avenue, that we have is to advance trade in different forms, whatever you're trading. For me, I do not believe that human capital development is only helping big businesses. More is the small businesses. That akara fryer, that person that sells akamo, there are different ways of helping them to engineer and brand their businesses to become not only local, not even only national, but even global. I have worked with different organizations. I've worked with the State Department here. I've worked with USAID. I'm still working with them. And so many, platforms. I've been able to see myself in different board meetings, with my former position as chairman of Nigerians for the whole of the United States. So those values, those investors are already there waiting to see a climate that will help their own investment to thrive, and they will come in and implement. So it's to advance human capital development, we have to look at what does the people like. I do not believe in forcing you to do what you don't want to do or what you might not thrive in. If hairdressing is yours, let's open the doors for those who are in that field. If yours is carpentry, let's give you the tools. Let's give you the equipment to be able to thrive. So those are things we want to do. And technologically, we have a vibrant youth community in Edo State. Even the creative industry. These are sectors that are even helping themselves to grow. The comedians, the movie industry. So we want to be able to develop the talents that God has already given us by putting those together. Then, like you said, of course, I'm running to win, and I know I will win this election. And for the administration that has been, like when I said I reached out to my governor, it's because I support. Well, I don't have to like him to support him. I only know that he's my governor, and all I can do is support the system to make sure Edo thrive. So yes, I've always been on the support side of any system that's wants that advantage, the little I can contribute, and all that. Yeah, of course, this is a public thing. He will hear it and he will not deny that I didn't come to him. There are photos that won't lie, right? And all that. So you will know that even before now, I'm somebody that will support anything that wants to grow by God's grace. So yes, but I believe God that you, like you said, and so many who will be hearing us will open their eyes. Will say, shine your eyes. Do not vote because somebody in the verge of election is giving you 10,000 or 50,000. Vote your conscience. Vote because of your tomorrow. Vote because of your future. Vote because of not what you can get now, but the kind of future you want to build for yourself. So that's what we want to do in terms of human and capital development, and also my idea of like your question. But I'm running to win, and I believe God that this election is for us and it's for you and I. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam Key. For those people on Mr. Ike King, yes, I said you can put your hand down. You are next. But before you come on, I like to tell the people on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, etc. there's a number on the screen. You can call in. So you can ask your questions to Madam Key. She's not going to be here all day. You can call in to ask her the questions or tell her what you want to know. But before, the numbers on the screen is WhatsApp only. No messages. Call in and she will hear you to answer your questions. So, Mr. Ike King, your question is next. Please tell Madam Key your question. And yes, Mr. Ike Key. No.
On mute, Ike.
Yes, I've done that.
No, on mute. Okay, on mute.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, panelists. Good evening, my host, and good evening to our guest, Mrs. Patience Key. I'm very pleased to meet you. My name is Kingsley Momosa. I'm from Edo State, Uwonde local government, Orada village, precisely. I have some few questions to ask, and please, ma'am, I would crave your indulgence to be practical with me. You know, you've been asked a lot of questions, and your response is we will do. But I want to be very practical. Like, for instance, you were making an example with an akara fryer on the street gaining support. You should be able to tell me, as an Edo son or an Edo Ndidi, how the government can actually support the akara fryer, what the government can do to make an akara industry a multinational industry, not just saying it we will. These have always been the statement of politicians from time immemorial. But we are in a different age and time of life where we must be practical with whatsoever we are doing. Reason being that if you eventually emerge as the governor of Edo State tomorrow, we should be able to point you back to what you have said today, that this is what you say you wanted to do, and this is the route you said you wanted to take, but why are we seeing something different, if there may be? So my first question is this. You've talked about, I didn't come on time anyway, you've talked about, when I came, you were talking about human capital development, then you talked about security. I have some questions in the area of security, but I want to start from agriculture. You see, Edo State, as we know, is a fertile land where we can grow almost everything that we need as a nation. What can your administration do to boost agriculture in Edo State? And you should please tell us how you aim to achieve those things that you have in mind in bringing in making Edo State the hub of agriculture in Nigeria. That's the first question, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. Then in regards to what you said about me not being practical about the akara seller, I don't know whether you were listening to me very in-depthly. I actually use the word branding. That's the way you can brand the akara seller. And I use the word AGOA. AGOA is an industry. They don't have to come from the United States. They can also be people in Nigeria that can help, to brand an akara seller. You fry your akara, we need refrigeration. You can, there's one that they do in Abuja. You just stay where you are, you order the akara, they send it to where you are, whether using Uber or you're getting it. You can also get that same, whatever that's already, whether it's frozen, and things like that. I'm not going to teach the akara fryer how to fry the akara. I may not be able to know how to fry akara myself, but if anyone, that is their trade, you'll be able to open the door for them to be able to, have different strategic ideas on how to do whatever they do. And one thing about the government, for the most part, might not have that ability to create all the jobs in Edo State or create jobs, but you can give that enabling environment. So the duties of a government, whether in the state or the federal, is to create that enabling environment for businesses to thrive, for human beings to thrive, for welfare to be given. So it is the different kind of incentives that you create that will now help with the akara seller, to be branded in different forms for them to not only exist, but to see sustainability in whatever they are doing. So I actually talked about, you know, it might not be as practical as you think it should be, but that is what it is. Then in terms of coming to your question in agriculture, and like you said, truthfully, our land is a great land, is a fruitful land. That's whatever we put in our soil, you know, will produce, you know, efficiently for us. So in terms of agriculture, of course, this is not the age and time for people to be given cutlass and hoe to go to farm. The people need the tools, they need the equipment, they need the machineries to be able to go to the farm. What my administration will be looking into is an agricultural transformation space, an agricultural reform, you know, agricultural transformation, where tools, seeds, and training will be given to those in the that is in the agricultural industry, and also to attract those, because young people might think, oh, this is not my field, you know. But when there are incentives given and the machineries, the right equipment are there, you know, being supported by the government, you know, given to the people to be able to implement, then, you know, you will have a lot of people coming to agriculture, and our land, the space that is meant for agriculture, will be used for that, you know, judiciously. And in regards to all that, also we also look at in terms of in the area of insecurity. When it also comes to agriculture, we have to make sure our people go to farm and come back home safe and sound, because safety is key for me and my administration. So yes, to be able to boost agriculture, we're also looking at this, not just the seedlings. Even when you talk about agriculture, you have to talk about where the you know, transportation, and that's where you marry it with a road infrastructure. Very, very important, because after you grow your products, you apart from consumption, you also want to make a livelihood out of it. You cannot grow. This is not the age and time for just a subsistence farming. We have to grow to feed our people, and also grow to be able to export, whether nationally or globally. And to be able to do that, we need all the machineries like I talked about, and we need them also a situation where we're able to conserve what we have in terms of storage, build a storage hub, you know, in different, I know in those days, you know, the way of course, things have changed. This is the modern age. We're not going to do the craft the way they do it, the bands of yams and all that. So whatever is befitting for our people right now, whatever, because I do not believe in bringing all the technology or the way Americans used to do things back to Nigeria. I also want to look at the way the culture, the way the people are used to doing their own thing, then modernize it in the way that, you know, they will continue for sustainability, you know, for tomorrow, you know. So that's what I'll be looking at in terms of agriculture, you know, give our people the equipment in addition to security, you know. Storage system, very, very important, because we want to be growing in large amount. We want to grow crops in large amounts, not just subsistence where we just feed our families. We want to be able to grow agriculture to feed our families, and also to transport from one place to the other, you know, and we need a good road network to be able to do that.
All right.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Ike, yes, okay, you still have your, Mr. Ike, proceed. Yes.
I have only 4 questions. It's supposed to be 5, but for the time factor, I will still line it to 4. On this issue of agriculture, I'm very sorry. I still need a little bit of clarification, because when you talked about agriculture, you only talked about the aspect of food production. Yeah, you talked about the aspect of food production, but in agriculture, there's what we call food production. Processing. We have livestock, we have processing, and we have marketing. So we need to bring all these things together. And of course, if Edo wants to produce, if you become a governor now and you want Edo State to produce food, what type of food would you want Edo to produce? Are we producing everything, or we are going to focus on maybe cassava or plantain or yam? You know, let us know. That is why I said we have to be practical. That's particular to me anyway. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay. So I know I said something that there are just some giveaways you might not be getting from me today. Again, the government of the day. Remember, I won't be the one doing the farm. Whatever equipment, whatever machineries, and that's what I talk about. When you talk about machineries, you talk about the equipment, you talk about the tools. These things are broad, they are vast. Okay, you and I might not be the one to be in there. I've not planted cassava before. I know that, but I know that cassava can go from cassava to gari, to akpu, to starch, to a lot of things. So when I talk about tools, the equipment, it's diverse, it's broad. And initially when I was talking, I said something about agility. I'm an agile professional. Agility means that, there are so many people working as a team, but doing different work. But in the end, they are getting, to one goal. Whether it's production, processing, quality, the ones looking at the quality, the technology part, and all that. These are all different components that can build what you're asking me. So every tools, the position of the government is to make sure all those tools, whether it's the from production to processing to animal husbandry or whatever, all the questions, great questions you're asking, the tools, the equipment, the resources that will be needed is what the Edo government under my administration will provide for the individuals to encourage them to be able to farm with ease, not with difficulty. All the tractors, everything that is needed, because this is the modern stage. We used to say, oh, the ancient they do, the ancient they do. We are no more ancient anymore. The ancient times has passed. We need to introduce modern abilities, modern products, modern equipment, things that can help people to go to the farm with ease. And also I added security, because everything we have to do, whether it's education, whether it's a hospital, whether it's agriculture, most important. So many people are not able to go to farm because of the kidnapping and the loss of lives and all that. Very, very important when we also talk about agriculture, which I added. I don't have to, yeah. So those are the things. When I mean tools, when I mean equipment, when I mean the seedlings and all that, those are, inclusive in everything. Yes, of course, we understand that people have fish farming these days. People have we still have our live fish, our regular fishes that is in our God-given rivers. People are into fish farming and all that. Okay, maybe you want me to talk about having the different ways of what's it called, rearing our cattle, and also taking those the products to the market. All those models are going to be built. It is not the normal way or the current ways, because if we have to even transport or export goods from Edo State to Germany, to especially to the United States is going to be looking at how are those animals killed, where are the houses, all those areas, the aperture, or maybe those are the things you want me to. When I mean tools, those are the branding I'm talking about. I might not have mentioned them one by one and all that, but everything, those are inclusive.
Okay.
What I want to see in agriculture.
I kick in gears. You continue, but please, we have someone on the line. There's actually a number. I don't know if you guys can see this number on the screen. There's a number on the screen, but we have someone on the line who has been waiting to ask a question. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I
am. Okay. Can you hear him? Madam Key, can you hear him?
Yes, I can hear him.
Okay, please, caller, tell us your name, tell us where you're calling from, and ask your question.
Good afternoon, madam. So, my name is Shoriame Etapo. I'm an Edo-lite. I live in New York, and I've been around the world. I've been to a couple of continents, and I must congratulate you on running for this position. It's always good for there to be more people trying to vie for the governorship position, especially in Edo State. And I do commend you for all your achievements in all the various parts of works of life that you've achieved so far. So congrats for what you're doing. And hopefully young girls and other women would look up to you, and maybe one day we might have a female governor in Nigeria, which would be a very good thing. So my questions to you, Madam, is there are three keys, three main things that Edo State should be known for, and one of the major problems we're dealing with. I think you've touched on those problems, but I did like to know and maybe give you an insight based on the fact that I have traveled and I've been in countries where they didn't have anything like Nigeria, and they still were able to try. I lived in the Philippines for a couple of years, and one thing that you touched on, which the Filipinos are known for, is human resource. Instead of people trying to travel and go abroad through the desert and through other means, how would you institute vocational studies? That way, who finish secondary school can go to a vocational school for 6 months and be an international ready product to work in that field on which he has learned for 6 months. That way you are engaging the what they call the international market, embassies, and traveling for, Nigerians are they're good in English. So they can work in, if you I know you live in the US, most of all the companies, their call centers are in the Philippines, and they don't speak English as much as we do. But they are trained, and maybe because of the trust issues, you have a lot of businesses coming over there, setting up their call centers. And that way, they are making dollars. So imagine if Edo State indigenes, young people who just graduate from school, are making $300 or $400 or $500 a month. And also, you want to think, what are the major things or products agriculturally that Edo State is known for, and how, being in the US, you can transcend that energy and that knowledge you have to fine-tuning our Edo State manufactured products for international export. That way, the tomatoes, which is being grown in certain parts of the state, the cassava, which is being grown in certain parts of the state, the rubber or the other things that are being grown, we can harness that product and turn it into an internationally exported. I will tell you, all my workers, they love Aboniki. It's even sold on Amazon. It is from Nigeria, and I'm so proud when I give it to people as gifts. And it's sold how much in Nigeria? And it's sold $5 a piece in New York because it gets cold here. So there are certain things we have in Edo State that you can focus on, but I want you to explain to me how you want to set up these vocational studies. That way, people can finish secondary school and still be able to have a chance in life. You don't have to go to university in this time and age. All you need sometimes is just your wit, your brain, and the fact that you can speak English, and you can transcend and start making dollars. So,
your question, please.
Yeah, my question is, how do you plan to institute these vocational studies, and how do you plan to make the Edolites, the young ones coming behind us, ready for international export? Not having to go through the desert as much as we travel. We stop that desert travel, all those risking of life, and export them refinedly That way, they can start sending money back, and we can start seeing money from diaspora coming back, because that would alleviate the poverty also. So how do you plan to follow? What steps do you have that you feel that you could follow to institute all this process?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question, my brother. Yeah, so to be able to do what you have said, it's all about relationship and representation. For the Filipinos, like you said, you live in New York, of which those people, if you use T-Mobile or you use Sprint or you use AT&T, the communication industries, those people that speak with us, of course, you and I know that they don't live in the United States. They come from the Philippines, India, China, and the rest of them. Okay, so it's all about relationship and representation. And when I mean relationship and representation, who are the ones representing them in the White House? Who are those that are representing them in the Senate, in the House of? Because those are the places where those policies, those laws, those relationships, those lobbies are being done, and all that. And talking about the immigration, migration, and all that, I don't think a good administration, what you want to do is think of how you can transport your people from out of Edo State to the United States or Germany or whatever. Okay, it's to build relationship, is to bring that representation. I have been I have worked with sisters states. I represent sister states. I've represented sister states here in Maryland. I've been to Morgan State University, been to St. Mary's University, and other schools who actually want to collaborate with universities or colleges back home. So that is how I think is the best way to do it. You know, educational relationship, you know, that's transfer of knowledge, engagement, causing that engagement, you know, even bringing students from the United States, you know, putting that culture in place. Students from United States who will want to come to Nigeria. In the olden times, I heard those things were, you know, done, you know, bringing them back to Edo State, relating with those that are also here, and also students from Edo State, you know, kind of how do I put it? Whether it's kind of a debate or kind of course, in all is exchange of knowledge, but not. I won't be a governor that will be telling people, "Oh, I'm going to transport you or remove you from Edo State to United States so you can bring back dollar." Edo State is a virgin land. Edo State is uncountable dollar, you know, whatever currency you will call it, industry. There's a lot of money. And you talked about rubber. Rubber can, you know, that exchange to have a byproduct from rubber. A lot of things that comes from rubber can be used in the healthcare industry. A lot of it going from pipes, from tubes, from all the kind of things we use for both pediatrics and adult healthcare can be gotten from rubber. So when we have the original products, and byproduct can be gotten from that, and we can now produce and you know, transport elsewhere. And that's in part of your agricultural question and all that. So yes, I don't want to be the governor that will tell my people that, oh, when I become governor, because I live in the United States, I'll take all of you to America. That's a lie. I'm not the one who gives visa. So we shouldn't be thinking of how to do that. But how can we cause a collaboration? How can we create a synergy? How can we create a partnership? That is what I'm going to do. Partnership with whether Nigerian students, in both Nigerian students and international students in the United States, in Europe, wherever they are, and Nigeria, you know, cross-functionally uniting, visiting one another, you know, putting knowledge together. I think it was 2 years ago, the World College, the War College, the DC War College, you know, reached out to the embassy. They were master's degree students and they wanted to learn about Nigeria. So they were writing their reports, their projects on women leadership, agriculture, economy, name it, everything about Nigeria. And the embassy told them, okay, the only person that can help you is Patience Key. And I put together notable Nigerians in the diaspora. We heard them out and we gave them what they wanted. And I also wanted them, okay, let me see your report. Even if they didn't give that report, you know, that's how selfish some countries can be. People get from you and they don't give back and all that. But we're able to do that. And today that relationship is there. So we've built a lot of relationship that can help Edo State. Not me transporting the people and bringing them here just to make dollar. We want to make our money work. We want to beef up the naira. We want to make our economy work. We want to build Edo. Edo has a great cultural renaissance. We want to foster our promote cultural industries. We want to help our traditional leaders, you know, to do the work they know how to do and to do it better, you know, as custodians of our artifacts, of our culture, of our monuments, of whatever it is that represent the Edo culture. That is the kind of governor I want to be. So using what we have, you know, I want to bring respect back to the Edo kingdom. So I will not be taking my people, but yeah, there will be exchanges. I want my people to have respect. Like I said, I'm just about 18 years old in the United States. I'm tired. Why? Because God has put me in so many platforms. I've come to understand that there's no place like Nigeria, and there's no culture like my culture. Before you write the history of Nigeria, you know, 2-3 paragraphs, you already have the Edo things about Edo that we have done. So those are the way I want to implement, you know, a cross-functional team working, you know, virtually and also in person, you know, traveling educationally. Even if it comes to agriculture, AGOA is already doing it. You know, I know platforms that do it. I've had meetings with them before. So those are the kind of relationship I want, you know, to build both internationally when it comes to my state, and not just so that the people will understand that there's a lot of money in Nigeria, a lot of money. Why do you think the Chinese is still there? Why do you think before I left Edo State, the Lebanese has been in Okada for how many years? China is infiltrating Nigeria right now. Indian has been in our community for long. Why? Because they know what you have. So I won't be taking my people out for us to go and make dollar and become slaves in another man's country. But for us to gain respect for Edo people and for the Edo culture and for the Edo people. So yes, we will marry all of them together. You know, there will be, you know, travelings, there will be visitations and all that on both climates, but not to tell my people I will take them to US just to make dollar. No, that is just a tiny bit of what the Edo indigenes can do for themselves and do for their community. We need to be able to use our resources. We talk, like I just used only rubber, for example, cassava. You know, you can do a lot with cassava. Gari. I go to Walmart, you know, big shops, Walmart, Costco. All those products can be on the shelves of this cassava, gari. A lot can come out of it, and all that timber. We have the best wood. Edo can have, you know, a global furniture hub, and that's part of creation of jobs. I was pained in my heart when one of my friends, you know, came to the United States. What did she come to do? She wanted to buy furniture. And I practically asked, but we have the best wood. We do wood, even in Edo State. Why do you have to come to America to buy furnitures? So we have to change that mindset. And that is why I want to be governor. To make my people understand that we have it all. We have it all. We can attract, you know, dollar. Naira used to be higher than dollar. It can still be. It just depends on the representation you have. It depends on the kind of relationship that your governor creates with both internal leadership and global leadership. So that's the kind of relationship and leader that I want to be, is that I will bring that kind of respect and relationship that will better the Edo people, and you know, a mutual relationship for both climates. I don't know if that answers your question, but
yes, yeah, I think he's still on the line, though. But no, Osho, please. I want to say something. He spoke about people finishing secondary school and going into vocational studies.
Okay.
Right,
okay.
And which means because I fall in between when it comes to that such a question, which means a child can finish his secondary school and not going to the university, but goes to learn the trade, which we know in thinner climes, if I'm using it right, or in Western world, yes, a mechanic probably earns a lot, especially because he's skilled, or a plumber. He doesn't have to really go to university to learn plumbing, or he doesn't have to go into a university or a major to have a major there to learn a handwork, like we call it in Africa. So, what do you think? Is it are we still in that line of people don't have to go to school to learn something, or it is proper people learn a skill while they are still going in tertiary universities? Do you balance it, or you can pick one for the other? Do you get my question, Madam Key?
Yes, I balance it. So again, it's by choice. When I was growing up, there are people who lived in my house. For my mother, when you are in her house, you have to go to school. There are some of my relatives who did not have the brain for school, but you have to learn a trade. I have a distant relation who my mother had to put to do hairdressing, another tailoring. So, but if you have and I have people who, I did my youth service in Ekiti State, and that was where I learned how to do bags. So I have a bachelor's degree at the time, but guess what? I know how to make bags. I know how to mix the earrings, and I brought it here. I know I made money a little bit, or it was fun and all that. So yes, you can still go to, for example, I have an aunt, bless mom, she's late now. She finished from Auchi Poly at the time, went to the youth service. The only thing that was the last she did about school. She started selling fairly used clothes. She built a house in Abuja and everything with fairly used clothes. So it depends, I'm not going to tell people not to go to school. It's an added advantage. It's an advantage to go to school, and that's why we have to create that means for people to be able to go to school and not thinking of, how they're going to pay school fees, how they're going to do that. Edu can have free education. It is possible. Why? Because we have the resources. And that's why I talked about using the talent that we have and the resources that we have to create wealth. And that wealth that we create will give us the needed monies, the needed resources, the needed, funds to be able to pump into education, pump into healthcare, pump into businesses. And that's how we can create wealth for. So if we have people who they don't have the stamina, maybe the brain to go to school, there are so many of them like that. They want to go into a mechanic. They want to go into hairdressing. They want to go into plumbing. Why not? The most important is that the resources is there, and we have, there are some people at some two guys, they're not even from Edo State, that I met trading on WhatsApp at the time. All they did was to use, that was during the time of pandemic. They were able to put together a hardware that you can use to put sanitizer in your hand without touching it. I asked my team, I said I wanted to meet those guys, and they found the guys for me. What did I do? I put together some group of engineers to ask them questions. What do you think you need? How do you think you can advance? So the same thing we will do for our people. Yes, they might not go to school, but we have a lot of Nigerians, Edo indigenes in the diaspora that are engineers, that are medical doctors, that are, so you might not be a nurse, you might not be a medical doctor, but you want to be work in the healthcare. There are some basic things that these professionals will be able to teach you, will be able to, work with you, partner with the healthcare industries to advance lives. And that's still part of human capital development. So those are the things we'll be doing. I advise that we go to school, and my administration, by God's grace, will put the resources, the needed resources, so that people don't say this is the reason why we're not going to school. The good thing is that we have intelligent Edo indigenes, that even with the hardship, our parents are still tying their wrapper, saying okra, selling ogbono, selling crayfish to send us to school. Some of our parents did that. My mother was a civil servant. On Fridays, she would go to Flash Pool at the time to work for weekends, so she can have additional money to take care of us. We were just two. Then she was also a subcontractor with Coca-Cola. She gets Coke, Sprite, and the rest in bulk and sell retail to others. Those are the kind of things. And in school, I had friends and fellow students whose parents were selling cotton, selling crayfish. That's how they went to school. So we have to advance all that, but it has to be branded. But being the governor, I will not. Of course, I will not be the one. What we mean is, when you see you're creating an enabling environment, it means you're putting resources, both human resources that will be able to train, people that can train, people that can bring the money, that's all it means when you're creating an enabling environment. So those are the things we'll be doing. Allowing those who can go to school, give them the opportunity to go to school. For me, human capital development is touching them from early birth. When a child gets to 5 years old, 4 years, 5 years, 8 years, there's a lot of things that they can learn, and if they don't learn it at that time, is a loss for them. So we have to touch them more.
Mr. Osho, does that end your question? Okay, that is it. Mr. Ike King, you were asking questions before we got a call. Please, can you continue? You said you had 4 questions. Please try to be brief. Madam Key, to Mr. Tedu, please hold on. Madam Key, try to make your answers as fast as make it compact.
I'm explaining a lot, right?
Yes, I know. Yes, we have more questions coming in, and we have barely 30 minutes left. So, yes, moderator, co-host.
Sorry, madam. Good evening. Sorry, let me do a little bit of housekeeping. Me na page they use. I want make people, a lot of people see you as you day here as much as they can see. I beg, a lot of the YouTube, look on a thumbs up like this, subscribe, share. Then Facebook, look on click follow, like, and share. Instagram, look on follow, like, and share. Twitter, look on repost, like, comment, and share. LinkedIn, same thing, like, comment, and share. Twitch, like, comment, and share. Madam, we stream for 6 platforms at the same time. My host tell me say you be get platform over one to stream into, but unfortunately we not provide them. So apologies for that. I wish you provide them. If I add that to the software, it will be 7 platforms for the stream right now. My host, I beg, after you leave Mr. Ike, please try go Sir Kennedy, our elder in the house. Just come out for him club, in business, also Japan with their head to come put question through. So I beg, okay, Ike finish, I beg try notice Sir Kennedy. Thank you, my host.
All right.
I will over to you.
Thank you.
Yes, I hear you. Mr. Ike, please, fast questions, madam, fast answers, please.
All right. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak once again. For the sake of time, I will just put everything together so that Madam Key can respond to us. When you were speaking, you made mention of you visiting Edo, like you just came back from Edo recently. When you went to Edo, what are the common challenges you found with the people of Edo? Being that you want to govern these people, I believe that the way you view them should be quite different from the way a regular person will just view the terrain of Edo. So you will have to tell us what you saw, like the common challenges you notice in Edo, because governance is all about meeting the needs of the people. We are talking about creating an enabling environment and stuff like that. That can be applicable, or that can be well understood by those who are intellect in the society. What about our market women? What about our fathers who drive the buses? What about the guys who go to the pits to pick the sand and stuff like that? So we need an all-inclusive government so that everybody can be carried along. It's not just a government that will center on the intellect in the society, and those who are not learned will be left behind. I know you've talked about people going to school and some not going to school. Is still around same circle. So what you notice that is the common challenge of an average Edo person. That is one. Then 2, we are talking about Edo State. And as we know today, Edo State is in the shadow of itself in terms of environmental waste. The environment is very dirty. We cannot hide away from that fact. What can your administration do if you eventually emerge to become the governor of Edo State to put environmental waste management in place? in Edo State, because over the years, environmental waste management have been a failure in Edo State. What can your administration do better? What are the mechanisms you put in place to make sure that our state is clean? Then number 3, if you are elected as the next governor of Edo State, what are your top priorities? What are the things you would want to meet? What are the things you want to do for the people to set the record straight, or better still, to change the narrative of the Edo State that we are seeing today? Then lastly, education. When we talk about education, I'm specifically talking about formal education, primary, secondary, and the tertiary education. What can your administration do to make education much more easier, much more accessible, and much more interesting for the people to access? What I mean is, if you check recently, JAMB examination was conducted some few weeks ago. And when the result came out, it was a slap on the face of the nation. And it is an embarrassment that today education is deteriorating in Nigeria. There are a lot of factors responsible for it. But for you, as an individual who wants to become governor of Edo State, what can your administration do to make education more interesting? When I mean more interesting, we are in a generation where people no longer believe in education anymore. In this context, I'm talking about formal education, not vocational education or what have you, but formal education. People are no longer interested because of various reasons, which I may likely alert, maybe the issue of Yahoo that young people are engaging themselves in, the issue of hookup young ladies are engaging themselves in, the issue of social media. You know, people don't pay attention to academics anymore, but pay attention to trending news on social media. So what can your government do to bring all these things in place and make Edo State move forward? Thank you, man. This is my last question. These are my last questions for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What's your name again?
My name is Kingsley.
Okay, Kingsley. Thank you very much, Kingsley Pomosa, for those wonderful questions. The first one, you talked about feeling the pulse of the people. What is it that I saw? What is the immediate need of the Edo people? What do I think the Edo people need?
Exactly.
And like you rightly said, of course, every good leader must feel the pulse of the people. Like I said earlier, I see hunger and anger imprinted in the faces of the people. When that happens, what I see that is immediate, and like I said earlier, again, everything happens to be immediate in Edo State. Are we talking about unemployment? Are we talking about the bad roads? Are we talking about the environmental situation, like you said? So the first thing I think, looking at the people's faces, we need to do a cushioning. A cushioning, it's something, I would say, a low-hanging fruit. Any government, a government, when for example, you vote me in and I become your governor by the grace of God, the first thing I want to do is to cushion, immediate families. There's something called welfare. And people will ask, where will you get the money from? There's some funds that enters the government every month. We need people to live. We need people to survive. We need people to eat, at least, even if it's two square meals. There are people that don't eat at all. I know the hotels that I stayed when I was around, people come to you, but you are just one person. How much can you do? So what I see is there's a lot of hostility. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of things happening. Why? Because of the issue of poverty. Environmental, just poverty that can bring depression. So all this hostile situation is making people depressed, and we need to put a resolve to that. You also talked about the second one. Okay, let me just go as I remember. You talked about the environmental situation. Before I left Nigeria, I know that we used to do environmental sanitation. I think, is it every other week or every last Saturday or whatever of the month? I think we need to bring back again, because the environment is so dirty. And when people are building houses or building roads and all that, I see our drainages, our sewages, what we call our gutter is unkept. The diseases, the kind of ailments that kill our people in Edo State, typhoid, malaria, and things like that, are preventable diseases. There are things that when we keep our environment clean, we keep do sanitation, we will reduce mosquito, we will reduce a lot of things. So yes, in terms of environmental sanitation, we also need to, for those of us, because I know there's a ministry called environmental sanitation. My mother used to have a waste management business in Delta State. We need to have a section, a land area that is just meant for refuse dumping.
Sorry, madam. Your mother has a lot, or she did a lot.
Yeah,
You make reference to your mom.
Thank you. Yeah, she was a great mother. I really miss her. Yes.
Sorry,
Yeah.
thank you. I beg, sorry. On our way, the comment section, we get WhatsApp number online. If you're not fit putting a question through, Mona call through WhatsApp to ask her the question. We not get much time again, but for her to answer all the question, call through the WhatsApp and ask her the question. That would be faster. Thank you, madam. Go ahead. Thank you.
Madam, please be brief with your answers. We know how it is. You like to hit every point, and people can sometimes the questions keep repeating. Just make it brief. It doesn't matter.
So there should be sanitation. There should be sanitation regularly. Something that's will be enforced. We should have a land, an area, a secluded area for refuse dump. And we should also think of death to wealth. Recycling all these plastics, water bottles, cans and all that, to also create more wealth. Being able to have a particular places. Then our gutter, what we call our gutter, has to be cleaned. The way we do drainage, has to be clean. Those are part of things that can reduce, a mosquito, reduce all the kind of insects and the things that causes, illnesses. While we also, talk about the healthcare reform, having people researchers, people in the healthcare that can do researching to be able to eradicate mosquito, because it is doable. If they can do it in America, it can be done in Nigeria. We have talents. Then that's your second one. Can you remind me the other two?
Yeah, the last one was education. Formal education. Your plan as a government to boost education back in Edo.
Yeah.
Because we cannot shy away from the fact that education is deteriorating as it stands now.
Yeah, and like you said, of course it is deteriorating. We need to also implement different ways of going to school and different ways of learning. We cannot shy away that we have disabled people with disability in our society. So people learn in different ways. And digital education is something, because if we can enjoy what you and I are enjoying today, is because of the digital economy. We can not all sit down in the classroom. But most importantly, like you said, our education system must be equipped. It must be reformed. We need better classrooms. We need teachers that are trained, because there's something they come to train the people. There should be things that keeps them on the what stage, by learning best practices, reforming our curriculums. We cannot continue with outdated curriculums, things that we have used when I was in school, and you see things have not been reformed. So we need people in that field to look into it and reform our educational system. Have better classrooms, equipped classrooms that is digitalized, and also a section where people can also be on the internet to also learn, as opposed to just being in the classroom. There's nothing wrong with classroom, but education is a must. Primary, secondary, tertiary. It is not something that we say, oh, let's consider. It's a given. And if as an individual you decide that, oh, education is not good for me, nobody's going to force you, but it's something that the government, the administration must put in place. And also, apart from accessibility, affordability, I believe that Edo can give free education. These things are possible, at least for the basics, starting from the basics. We need to do that to our people, to cushion our families, to help our families to recover from all the poverty, all the dangers, all the financial crises they have gone to. So yes, we need to equip our schools with modern, make them modern facilities, all the digitalization, the technology that is needed. Train our teachers, make our teachers more knowledgeable. I went to Ambrosali University, as much as I can remember, they still go to strike. They force them to come back to school. They still come to teach us with joy, without salary. And again, they have to be gainfully employed. Paying somebody a salary is good, but making them gainfully employed, to have joy, to continue to do what they are doing, it is very, very important. We all, so many of us here, we all went to school, and we see how our teachers, both from primary and to the university, suffered for us. And I also want a situation where we will build a research institute. We have a lot of people who have masters, PhDs, but they have nothing to work on. They have nothing to refine. They have nothing to reform. So Edo is going to have a global research institute. Research when it comes to, a lot of things. Healthcare, businesses, technology, businesses, to be able to advance the people. I don't know if I've answered your 3-4 questions.
Thank you, thank you, Madam Key. Well, I hope IK, you got a bit of that. There have been questions up for you. Well, like I said, we'll just do the 1-minute question and the 2-minute answer. Thank you for answering the questions. We have yes, okay. Sir Kennedy Agariva, are you here with us? Are you available at this time?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, your question. I know you have short time.
Okay, thank you very much. Very briefly, you are welcome, madam. You have been very eloquent. I've listened to you, and we have been listening to other people too. During campaigns, the politicians, they give very elaborate manifestos, but at the end, we don't actually see they don't go deeply in carrying out their manifesto. But anyway, the institutions of Edo State, the basic institutions have basically collapsed. If you look at, let me take one case study like the health ministry. These are people that are in charge of, saving the lives of the citizens of the state. And if you go to their offices, you find out that people are not on seat. And these are people that are supposed to be expecting patients, people that are sick, that want to be saved, and people are not on seat. What I'm trying to say is, these kind of people that are not there to take care of these people, these are their statutory duties, and they are not there. How do you plan? How do you intend to carry out oversight to make sure these people are on seat and they are carrying out their duties according to what the duties that we are assigned to them? Thank you. Very simple question.
Awesome. Thank you so much, my brother, Mr. Gareva. So you see, what you just talked about is all about reforming the system, bringing reform to the system, because they say if you don't work, you cannot eat. So you cannot use the place that you're supposed to be getting food to eat and playing with the lives of people. I'm a healthcare professional, so I know how critical it is to have people in the hospital coming in for treatments or admitted, but they are not being cared for. That can lead to loss of lives. That can even lead to malpractices. That can even lead to errors when people are not being attended to. So my government, it's going to be very critical on this and have monitoring and evaluation. Very, very important. We have to implement it. People have to be monitored. People have to be evaluated every now and then for structures to be maintained and for us to see a sustainability in everything that we do. Health is wealth. I tell people, the system that I'm working to bring structure in, the system that I'm working with to make sure things work in my state, and every path is actually the system that made my mother not live long. My own mother went to the hospital, a Latin oriented. And in a few hours, she went into comatose. Why? Because the doctor gave her what she's not supposed to get. And that's why my mother had a premature, I can't see her today. Same with my younger brother, who was killed at the age of 20. Instead of him being rushed to the hospital, he was, and even if he got there, there was no machinery, there was nobody to attend. And so I'm affected personally. So that is how these institutions is to me. And again, I'm in healthcare. So there's going to be, not only in healthcare, there's going to be evaluation and monitoring. And when all those things are done and people still continue to be nonchalant, then we have no choice to let them sit aside, because they have to be queries for things. When human beings came to the hospital to get good attention, to be taken care of, and if that is not being done, then what's the need of we having a healthcare system and people being there to oversee those things? So those are the measures that we are going to take. Make sure there's policing. Very, very important. So that we can curb malpractices, we can curb errors, we can curb those things that lead to premature deaths and errors in our medical facilities.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. The next person is Mr. Tupo. Mr. Tupo, you are next. I got that. You are next in line.
Raising my hand.
Yes, Mr. Obedient AI, after Tupo, who has been supposed to be.
Not me, it's someone else. It's someone else that is talking.
Okay, sorry, I didn't see that. Yes, after Mr. Tupo, the next person will come. I didn't see who is that.
Is Yeah.
Okay. Please, Mr. Tupo first. Mr. Tupo, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Please, your question. Make it brief. Madam, the answer, make it brief. We have 18 minutes left.
All right. Madam, welcome to the show. Thank you, moderator, for giving me the opportunity. Congratulations on your nomination as the candidate of your party. But there's something I want to say, it's going to fall into being a question. I've been listening to all your statements and speeches about agriculture, education, and everything. And I know that from the way you have put it, it means you have lived outside the country for a long time. You even mentioned it, 18 years. So you understand how the system works. And there's no system that is different, because democracy that we practice today was gotten from probably the country where you live in. So it means that the same thing applies to Nigeria. So as we know, Nigeria is a federating unit, which means the state has its rights. And as a state governor, you have the power to apply the constitution the way you deem fit. Nigeria, as it stands, has laws. We are blessed with laws. The laws are correct. Forgetting whether people want to try and say that our laws are upside down, this is that, we need to amend constitution. Nigerians' laws are very much intact. But the only problem I see here is that rather than applying these laws morally, over the years, the laws have been applied criminally by the governors. Criminally in the sense that they apply to favor what they think. And the way you have put your statements out, it's not like I'm trying to say you have not said things right, but it's similar to the way all these governors who have applied it criminally have always put it. Why do I say this? In all your statements, you yourself understand that to apply development to the people, it goes through the local government. You never mentioned anything about the local government, both healthcare, education, agriculture. It must go through the local government. That means at state level, it's just going to be policy making and guiding the local government on how to implement this. We have seen Edo. Edo is a place where we only have maybe the governor. You went to Ekpoma. I remember Judges Quarter in Ekpoma. It was built as a housing estate for judges. But in this last 26 years of democracy, it seems that housing estate or development is only done within Benin City. And why is it like that? Because the governors always tend to feel that while we are in charge, we do it like this, we will do it like that. They never tend to talk about local government. So I want to hear from you. Maybe it's an oversight, you missed it or something, or it's in your manifesto. But I want to understand, maybe you give us insight, because I don't want it to be a question. How you intend to apply local government into governance? That's it. Because there's no way you are going to tell me that from the state government house in Osadebe Avenue, you will guarantee security in Fuga. So I want to know what your intentions are as regards those local government elections, applying these basic principles you have talked about, healthcare and all. Are you going to apply it through consultancy from the state house, or you are going to apply it through the local government? Because we know how it works now. There was a time we were called to Ring Road to take numbers that they want to give us loans to become farmers. We got ID card, those shenanigans that government normally do, which I don't know how it's going to work. How you want to go to Onwan to go and be a farmer, and the local government is not aware that you are even a farmer within that region. So please just maybe help me to understand how you intend to apply all these things, because it's not just saying it and saying it. Are you going to apply it as using consultants, using Edo people, or using the existing constitutional law morally? Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, my brother, for that question. And for me, leadership, it's all about collaboration. It's the partnership. No one person can be a governor. No one person can do it all. We're not islands. And I mentioned it. I might not have said it the way you want to hear it, by me not specifically mentioning a local government. In my statement, I had mentioned that I'm looking at building a model kind of government, a government that works with both the private sectors and other public sectors to create wealth for Edo. And when one of my brothers insisted that I was not being practical in the way I was answering, maybe I was not saying it the way he wants to hear it, I had to mention that actually that the governor does not on her own, or just she and her team implement all by themselves. This implementation goes through processes. And of course, we must use the laws of the land, the constitution. And I agree 100% with you. When I was invited a couple of years ago, during the we want to do constitutional reform, I actually refused to come to Nigeria, because for me, there's no need. I tell people, you cannot allow if you say the constitution is good, bad, what about the good things that is in the constitution? Why don't we do that? What is stopping us from implementing the things we see in the constitution that works for the people? So it's the implementation that is the problem. It is not every constitution has its ups and crons and pros and all that. So of course, my administration is going to use our local governments. We're also going to use private bodies to implement as the case may be. And most importantly, the government must work hand in hand very closely with the local government, because these are the people, like you said, and I agree 100%, that reaches out to the grassroots. The governor cannot be everywhere, but we have 18 local government chairmen, and those 18 local government chairmen, still have people under them that will go in different nooks and crannies to make sure that things are working for the states, while we use consultants in the place that is necessary, in the areas that the Edo people deem necessary, and things like that. So yes, I mentioned that we're going to implement a model kind of government that will work in synergy with, close relationship with both private sectors and other public sectors to create wealth for Edo State. I actually mentioned it, but maybe because I did not mention local government. So everything you have said is right, and that is what we're going to do by doing all this. Yeah, thank you. I don't know if that answers your question, or if it's, yeah.
Thank you very much, Madam Key. Next is Obedient AI. Obedient AI, you have your hands.
Not Obedient AI, sorry, is there Igbe?
Oh, sorry. Yes, we have Izegbe. It wasn't. I was looking at the chat. Izegbe actually didn't put it on the chat. Izegbe, sorry.
Right.
Please give your question. 1 minute. Let's make it brief, please. We don't have all day.
Okay, thank you guys. Good evening. Welcome, Madam K. Thank you for coming here to talk to us. I just have some few questions. Yeah. if by the grace of God you are elected the governor of Edo State, what will be your quick fix? I mean, for example, in your first 100 days in office, what will be your major achievement? That's one. Then two, states in Nigeria, they've become babies that federal government spoon feed every month. They run to Abuja for fact allocations. And it has made so many states become very lazy. That's why they are complaining of unemployment and a slow pace of development and all that. So what will you do differently for those states to generate more IGR, like attracting FDI, foreign direct investments? And thirdly, what would be your immediate reaction on primary health care? For example, people living in somewhere like Udo, they have medical emergency, maybe at night, they have to rush down to Benin. You know the terrain, how it is. So it seems you're a doctor or you're a health practitioner. So what will
Yeah,
you do
we have.
about primary health care? Then four, in terms of tourism, Edo State have potential in terms of tourism and all that. I think the government at all levels, from the state level to even the federal to local government level, they've not harnessed tourism potentials in Edo State. And lastly, they've been preaching about climate change and all that. Do you know that in Edo State, our forests are being depleted because of excess of logging of woods and all that, like the Sakmoba Forest Reserve and the Okomu Forest. I know the Okomu belongs to federal government. What will you do differently? Like try to regenerate those forests again, because these are part of environmental factors too. It can also help in flood controls and all that. So thank you.
All right, I might not answer them sequentially the way you put them together, and if I don't get anyone, please remind me, because listening to all your questions, there are actually areas that have touched apart from the forest, the environmental aspects of the forest that you just talked about, and a little about tourism, which I talked about, and all that. So first, what was your first one? Let me see if I can go from there.
Your first 100 days in office, what would be achievements?
Okay. Yeah. So I want to give see that the businesses have, grants and loans for those who can take care of it, but most part of it's grants. And I will also want to see that there's food on the table of the Edo indigents. I will make sure that palliatives is given. Yeah, I know a lot of people have heard about palliatives. I would think it's just about the normal 5 cups of rice and all that, substantial things that are substantial. I will also see that salaries, are paid on a timely manner. And our pensioners, so many come to the street. We make them come to the street, whether old or young or dying. We make them come to the street to maybe because of fingerprinting or whatever, to make sure they are alive, because of ghost workers. All those kind of things need to be avoided. I'll make sure pensioners are being taken care of. My father is a pensioner, and I know what he goes through and all that. Then in terms of businesses, because of the dilapidation, the dilapidation, the dangerous things that have happened in our community, there's a need to immediately begin to look at our roads, at our road network. I'm sure the contractors are already there. There's already been. I'm not the kind of leader that will say, oh, because this contract was not started by me, then it will not be implemented. Because those roads, when it's done for the usage of the people, and for the benefit of the people. So I will look into that, then in terms of the forests, of course, we have to begin to due to the depletion, we need to begin to build a canvas on building, planting trees. Like you said, it will help with environmental issues and all that, flooding and the rest of it. So we need to conserve, our forests, And we need to promote that promotion, and also canvassing for young ones and able-bodied men and women to help us to plant trees in these areas that have been mentioned. Then healthcare in the rural areas. Of course, we need clinics in every places. Yes, we might not in the early start of our administration have state-of-the-art hospitals everywhere, but I know that we're going to have there's need for us to have substantial clinics in those rural areas. Substantial clinics that we have the right equipment, the doctors and nurses to be able to care for the people in those areas. So that in terms of in case of emergency, we have the first aid, the necessary things to be able to take care of our people before, if it's something that cannot be done in that area, then you're thinking of bringing them to Benin or flying them somewhere else for those things to be taken care of. So preventive healthcare. Nutrition also is very, very important. And, when you talk about preventive healthcare, you're also talking about how sanitation relates to our healthcare. Because if an area is dirty, if an area is not taken care of, you have breed of mosquitoes, and that's how you have typhoid fever, you have cholera, you have all those kind of things. It leads to a depleted healthcare value for the people. So those are the things I think we will do. I'm talking about this and also looking at the moderator because he's told me to to mind my time. So I'm just trying to group everything together and hope my answer helps with the question.
You didn't say anything about the tourism.
Oh yes, the tourism. Oh my God. Oh yes, that is big, because with tourism, Edo it's a great industry for Edo. My plan is that we must build, a cultural tourism, an industry, a hub for tourism, supporting the custodians of our artifacts, of our monuments, like meaning the Oba of Benin and our traditional leaders. It is not in the, I don't think it is in the, is a duty of the governor to take control of that, but support. We need to support that. We need to advise on things to be done, and we need to create industries around those things for the custodians of that to be able to. Then there are other things that we can do, like we have the moats, we have the mechanical mode, the handmade modes. We have our Igwe festivals and all that, and we have Edo indigenous all over Europe, all over United States, that can attract their friends, their partners, back home. And to also be able to engage in tourism, we need to promote it. We need to brand it. You and I know that already. UK people are already returning artifacts and things that are stolen from us. It just shows how rich we are as a people. So we need to protect what we have. We need to create a hub, an industrial tourism hub for people all over the world, not just in Nigeria, but beyond Nigeria, Africa, and the world, to come to our different festivals. But all the government can do is support, advise on those things, support the custodians, and make sure Edo become a model and a class when it comes to tourism. Mauritius is just a small country of 1.3 million people. Only their rivers, only water. That's what they use, for tourism. People come all over the world. In United States, where I live, DC, people travel all over the world just to come and look at White House. People should travel all over the world to come and look at the Oba Palace. Travel all over the world to come and look at our moat. Travel all over the world to come and look at, just our environment, which Edo has. We have a good cultural heritage. We have people who know how to carve wood. We have people who are good in iron steel. So there's a lot in tourism. It's vast, and is more than $1 trillion industry if we do good with it.
Thank you very much. I hope that answered your question, Base. Are you satisfied with it? Okay, move to the next person, which is Obedient AI, before we have Concord.
Because of fine, I'm okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Obedient AI, we see we have hit the 2-hour mark, but your hand has been up, and for Concord as well. Please, I need you guys to give your questions, make it brief, so we can proceed. Are you there, Obedient AI?
Nothing much, just that when the madam was talking about policing. When I mean policing, in terms of monitoring people in terms of their performance and all of that. So it's just an advice, not really a question, that maybe your manifesto, or hopefully when you get elected, you should try as much as you can to use technology in all these areas, because you mentioned fingerprint. You know how it is in America. Anywhere you go, you clock in, you clock out. All these things will help in terms of policing the people working in any hospital or even in the government parastatals. So those are things that we
100%.
really
Yes,
need
100%.
to,
Yes.
as in, even in security, you know that you mentioned in your first statement that every house in America, every in front of your house you have camera, isn't it? In front of your house there is camera everywhere. So all these things will be able to
I
help
mentioned
us.
CCTV.
Yeah, you mentioned the several
I
things. So that's
mentioned it,
important.
but I said that will not be the kind of value proposition that is needed in Nigeria. Because in a situation where you have all the CCTV, of which we have in some places in Nigeria and even in Edo State, and we have only security agencies equipped, but the people are still poor and hungry and unemployed, we will still
Just
have
in addition, that is it. Thank you.
Exactly. So I mentioned all that, but it might not have come out the way you want to hear it, or maybe that single word you wanted to hear, you did not hear it. Yes, but everything you said, of course, clock in
No,
and
what
clock
I'm
out.
saying is that just make it louder. The more you are saying it, keep all your idea, keep singing it. You have a very laudable idea. Keep make it louder. People need to hear you more.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Obidene. Mr. Concord, you are the last on the list. What do you have a question for her?
Yes. Congratulations, madam, for winning your party ticket. My question to you is, if after the election and the result does not go in your favor, will you be willing to work with whoever merged as the winner as the next governor of the Edo State? And also, if you also become the governor, will you be open to accept other candidates from other parties, their ideas in order for us to move Edo State forward?
Awesome. That's a very wonderful question. Thank you so much for this. I know somebody asked the 1A of the question, which I answered, but this 1B, very excellent. Yes, I am running to win. And I believe, the Edo indigenes and residents will want a visionary leadership. We want a competent leadership. We want a compassionate leadership, and that is what I carry. That is what I represent. That is who I am. So I believe, Edo people have a mind of their own, and they will make me their leader so that we can work together, because leadership is not meant for one person. It's a collaboration, it's a partnership. Yeah. And like I said earlier, given the example that I gave, how I reached out to our state governor in terms of human capital, what's it called? Trafficking, human trafficking. So it means that whether in government or not, I will work with anybody who is taking care of my state. I did that for the nation. I did that for my state, and I will continue. But I believe that Edo, at this dying minute, will want a leader who will pioneer them to where they need to be as we work together. And in your 1B of the question, of course, yes. Of course, yes. For me, it's not about political party. It's about idea. It's about ideology. It's about people working together. It's about people who can do the job. All we need this time for us to be able to make a mark and see sustainability is to put the right people in the right places. And they don't have to be all from PRP. They have to be from Edo. That's all I'm concerned. Even my party knows me, that I'm not about party. I'm about human beings. I'm about who can make it work for us. That's what's important. Yes, so my administration will be open. My administration will be open to all and sundry that are ready to work with us to make Edo State a model state, not just for Nigeria to be to be proud of, but for the world to relate with. So yes, I'll be open to that.
Thank you.
Mr. Koko, is that all? Is that all the
Yeah.
questions you have for her?
Yes, that's all. Thank you so much, madam. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Madam Key, yes, we thank you for answering the questions. You have been on the seat. It has not been very hot, but you have answered. I'll say you have answered the questions that has come your way. I think I have one or two questions from the YouTube link. When you answer that, then we can round up for the day. Is that okay with you? Is that okay with you,
Yeah,
madam?
come again, please.
Okay.
Yeah, say it again.
Yes, I said we have. I'll give you one or two. I'll read one or two questions from the social media outlets. Then we can round up for the day. The question is. This is from Mr. Osas. He said, why should we trust you with Edo resources? Wait, do you believe that the Asian people have been marginalized in Edo politics? And do you believe that Governor Obaseki did a lot in the IT infrastructure space of Edo State? How do you intend to sustain it? These are 3-in-1 questions. Should I repeat?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think you got it. How will he believe? How will the people kind of trust?
So first of all, he said,
why should the people trust me as their governor?
How would we trust you with Edo resources? Because we had the IGR. How do we trust you with it? Then secondly, he said that the ASA are marginalized. He said the Asian, if you believe the Asian are being marginalized in Edo politics? That's the second one. Then the third is the IT infrastructure that Obaseki has got to a certain level. How do you extend to sustain or improve it? Briefly, that's one of the questions. Just give us brief answers.
Yeah.
You can come as yes, no, and some.
Yeah. So I believe I can be trusted. I have done a lot for my community. Not because I was paid for it, because I wasn't paid for it. As the former chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora, all I did is pro bono. My coming to Nigeria to sit with the Buhari administration, to profess solution, to give ideas, to stay, to talk about things in program, talk about healthcare reform, environmental, and all that. It was my resources, hotel and everything. Nobody took care of that for me. So I was doing it for my nation. And my reaching out to Edo State, for us to see how we can create awareness in regards to human trafficking, was my time and resources and all that. So yes, I can be trusted because of what I have done for my community and what I continue to do for my community. Before there's anything that has to do with implementation, it has to come from ideas, from dialoguing, from even looking to see, there's a problem here, then let's look for a solution. Because if you don't discuss it, then you will not know it, and then you cannot come to implementation. So those are things that, by God's grace, I've been able to do, and I continue to do. Yeah, I might not have built skyscrapers everywhere, and for this, for that, but my ideas and coming to the table to be able to walk and travel around the United States, travel to my country to and fro several times in regards, for the love of country and for the love of nation. Is a great deal, and I believe I can be trusted, with Edo's resources. Like I said earlier, human leadership for me is about people management and resource management, and that is what I've been able to do. I've managed people's businesses, I've achieved success, and I manage my own business. I manage people's life. I'm in healthcare, so I deal with people, touch people's life every day. That is what I do, and by God's grace, there've been success. And coming down to work with my people and all of us work collaboratively as leaders, then it will be a win-win situation for us. Then in regards to talking about the infrastructure, technological infrastructure that have been put in place.
No, not the IT infrastructure. The question is yes or no. Do you believe the Asian people have been marginalized in Edo State? It's just yes or no. You don't have to elaborate.
There's no way I can answer that question without elaborating.
Okay.
That's the thing. So I will do it, very quickly. You know, I'm from Esther too. I'm from Igwebe. I'm from Igwebe I'm from Ekeke in Igwebe local government. I believe the whole state has been marginalized. Do you know why I said that? I was born in Benin City. Benin is like a village to me. So that's marginalization. I see people build houses. There's no good I went to somewhere around the country home. You see the way the gutters are built. There's no even pavement. So I hear people, you know, bicycles just fall into those places. People die, people have accidents, people get maimed and all that. A lot of the place is like a village. Then visiting, I traveled by road because I wanted to see for myself. Getting to the area where I went to my tertiary education, Ekpoma, which is Esther land. And I'm wondering, what? Ekpoma has, you know, been this bastardized, dilapidated, no road. And I'm looking, what is going on here? So I believe that the whole environment, not just my Esther people, but I believe in equity. I believe in equilibrium. Very, very important. That's the only way the Edo can be a better place. The world can be a better place. When we look at equity and look at equilibrium. I know where my brother or my sister that asked that question is coming from. So yes, everyone community in Edo State is marginalized, and only a good government, a good government, a good governor, a good leader can bring the kind of leadership that we want. A former Prime Minister of Singapore said something. He said, only when you have a good leader, that's the only way you can enjoy good governance. And the Bible also says it. When you have a bad leader, the people will suffer. And when you have a good leader, the people will rejoice. I know I am a good person. I know I have compassion in me. And I know the only thing I can bring and more for Edo is rejoicing. So yes, I can be trusted, and the marginalization can cease when I come on board and we all work together. I don't tell you that I know it all and I have it all. It's a partnership, it's a collaboration, and we can do it because we have all that it takes. We have the talent and we have the resources, and we cannot continue to cry of hunger in the midst of plenty, in the midst of abundance. And I don't see the kind of development that, you know, has really been done, because if it is there, then it will be tangible. The technology that you see people enjoying is what they buy for themselves, is what they create for themselves. I work with these young ones. Even now, I have a group of them that I met when I just traveled, and we've been working together. I hear stories, both in the universities and outside the universities. So yes, all we want to do is anything that have been built that is good for the people, we will continue. I'm not the kind of leader that break down what a good structure that people have been put together. No, that is not leadership. We will build from where have been built, and where have not been built, we will continue. You know, we will build and continue to see, you know, for us to see sustainability. When I came into Naido, the guy that handed over to me talked about, you know, building a structure for the organization. We were not able to do it. But when I came, that was the first thing I looked at. And we're able to have the first Naido USA AGM because of structure that somebody had talked about. I wasn't going to downplay that because I know it was something that would build the organization. And God gave us success during my administration. So Edo, we have better. And that is an organization that is pro bono, that we all use our own minimal resources to take care of. Not talk of a place that we know we can bring investment to better the lives of the people and better the economy. So we have all been marginalized, and we can make things better. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, have you, what about the IT infrastructure? How do you?
Oh, the technology. I talked about it. I say if there's anything like he asked that is there, because I don't see it, is not tangible. What is, if something is implemented, the people will enjoy it. That's when you say yes. You know, people will experience it. But you know, there's no 20% of that. So you will not call that leadership.
Okay.
So if anything that is there, when you get in, of course, you cannot see more from the outside until you get in. But you still hear from those that are in. And if those things are there, people will experiment it. They will feel it. They will touch it. It will be a part of them. But if you're not hearing such success stories, then you begin to think, what is implemented in the first place? So whatever is there, we will continue to do the good work. Whatever is not there, we will build from ground up.
Thank you very much.
My host, sorry, madam.
Yes, okay.
Sorry. I
yes,
think John Bosco wanted to ask something because I would like to put the last one to her. John Bosco.
No, he doesn't want to say anything. He just said, Madam, you said you don't mind bringing people from outside the state that can help fix the state. And I commend you for that. He's making a commendation.
Okay, madam.
I don't think he wants to ask. So you can ask
and
her.
I can still talk to her. I mean,
okay, Mr. John Bosco, I apologize. You just put it down.
Okay, please. I tell you what, she has done very well. She has stood the time and the hot seat, and I wish her good luck. I mean, she has good ideas, and even if you don't win, I hope you'll be able to work with the next governor of the state that can make the state better, because they have good ideas from where you're coming from, especially in the healthcare sector. Thank you very much for
By
coming.
God's grace, we will win, so we can do
Why
a
can't
better
you
job.
win?
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
We will win,
even
so we can do a
but
better
even
job.
But even if you don't win, but you can still come.
We will continue our good job, but we'll win so that you and I can do a better job. That will all be
You will win. You will win. You will win.
Okay.
Amen.
John Bosco, John Bosco, for a bet, for just for banter, I believe she's better than your candidate. I prove it to you, and I put $2.
She's a woman. I'll respect her. She's okay. Let me know. I'm going to be a good man today. I don't want to go there.
Be a good man all the time, John Bosco. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I hope if my candidate win, Aswe Godalo, you can work with him too.
And I want Aswe to work with me.
He will work with you if you win.
Aswe knows what I bring to the table, and Aswe knows. He knows. Aswe knows what I bring to the table, and Aswe knows I'm genuine, I'm committed, I'm compassionate, and I'm an implementer.
That's right.
You know,
God bless you.
Our Godfather is God in heaven, and all of you listening to me.
God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit.
Amen. Of course.
Thank you, guys. Mr. Tony Edo, do you have anything else to say? I thought you said you wanted to ask.
Yes, madam, I greet you. Me na page I like to use for the common man. People like them, John Bosco, Obedient AI, Bears, they are from the upper class. When we were young, they never look at my face. Now we are here. It's what the platform can bring us together and talk. Madam, you have won some people's heart today, and I can tell you here, people like Igbe or Morige and some others said they will follow you today. They have a candidate from now. That's a good thing. And you have set a standard in this platform in Nigeria, in Edo State. You set a standard that will now put us or make us with the organizer of this platform to work 10 times harder to bring people that can equate your knowledge. Now you can see we put a challenge to Aswan now. If you can make up to your standard, I think John Bosco can bring Aswan here because you already defeated them by this your submission. But I challenge the rest aspirant to come and match you knowledge for knowledge. Thank you for coming here.
Sake can help us do that.
Thank you for coming.
If Sake
my
is listening, he can help us do
my
that.
pleasure. And we are not just talking. We are out to implement. You know, we can all talk, but who is going to implement? That's the key.
Yes, madam. My question to you is this. Now you have said all this. There's something you just said that caught my mind that said those states is underdeveloped. That means you are not tribal. But my question to you is this. In all these things you have been saying, where have you been? Can you answer me, madam?
Where I have been? Can you expand it a little bit? Where have been as in?
You don't have to be in. You don't have to be in government to be challenging the government to implement all this stuff.
Exactly.
So where have you been? Though I've answered your question for you, but it's a pity. Sorry, but you can still add to it.
Awesome. Thank you. I just wanted to be, for a little bit clarity. Yeah, where have I been? I have been in the space. I have been, yes, both in the diaspora and back home implementing. I know when we started, when I was giving a little bit about my background, I talked about being the former chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora for the whole of the United States. Nigerians in Diaspora Organization, for short, NIDO, is an organization that works with the government that be. Is an umbrella organization to all Nigerian organizations, both professional, local, name it, in the United States and beyond. NIDO is in 6 continents. That organization was created during the Obasanjo's administration. And your sister, by the grace of God, happened to be one of the leaders on the global stage for 3 years, 2017 to 2020. Being in that position, I worked with the government that day. And that was the access I had to meet with our governor, wanting to join forces for us to create awareness and put, solution regarding the challenges that faces us in regards to human trafficking, which to him maybe wasn't something that he was interested in. I worked hand in hand with the diplomatic missions, which is the embassy in Nigeria in DC, the consulate in New York, and the consulate in Atlanta, reaching out to our people back home, and also Abike Dabiri, to be able to create awareness, reach out to our people, tell the government the problems our people are getting, for us to see how we can provide solution. And I said something that when we come down to back home to come and talk about ideas, innovations, things, because everything what we implement in life comes from talking about it, comes from us seeing a problem. And for us to be able to resolve that problem, there have to be a dialogue. So I did a lot of dialogue. I wrote a lot of press statements. I condemned a lot of things that has to do with even the Chibok girls, Leah Shayubu, a lot of things. Even when the cattle rearing in the wrong places and all that, my voice was loud and clear. I will look for those reports that I did, and I will send to Obizo to post on your platform. So yes, I have been in the system. I have been working for the Nigerian economy, and that affects. If all the when the NIDCOM came on board, my administration will put together about 16 to 17 outlines. You know what we stopped doing? We stopped giving blueprints. When we give blueprints, Nigerians develop it and they don't even use it well. So what we did was to give an outline of 17 strategies that we know, if implemented, we touch every nook and cranny of the Nigerian community, but it wasn't implemented. Even up to the extent of how we can reorganize the anybody in the United States that say, oh, I am 1% Nigeria, even if you're 0% Nigeria, how we can bring those talents together to help to the growth of the Nigerian economy. And those are the things I would do as a governor in Edo State. And that's why I told my brother that, no, I am not going to be that governor that will tell my people I will transport you away from the state. Then who will build the state? We will form that synergy. We will bring that collaboration, that partnership to give them strength. Yes, there's going to be exchange of traveling and all that. Yes, we'll make that happen. But we'll fusion our people with the international bodies to give us that class, to give us that energy, and give us that cloud that we need as a people. So yes, I have been working, but now you're seeing me more of in the open. And this idea of sitting down with the government in power was what, put me into politics, in the anger that every discussion in regards to health, education, technology, and all that me and my team has talked about several times, come to give, give speeches, programs, and all that, never was implemented. That was what led me into politics. I'm not a regular politician. I'm a leader that wants to see work done. So your sister has been working, but I'm happy that we are now meeting so that we can work better. And also have a tangible grip of the implementation of what we are talking about. Talk is cheap. We want people that can do the work. And that's where I come in. Thank you.
Are we, my co-host, is that okay? Are you complete? Okay,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Like
I
we
appreciate
all
it, my
say,
brother.
yes, everything that has a beginning has an end. We have come here. Thank you. I thought you were going to do 1 hour with us, but I'm very pleased you did the whole 9 yards.
I'm
Thank
enjoying
you.
my people. That's fine.
Thank you very much. We
My
can
pleasure,
bring
anytime.
you back on the show again. Yes,
No
it's very
problem.
open because this show is for everybody. It's a family show for all Edolites, all Nigerians, home and abroad, for us to come educate ourselves, most especially. Yes, we come here, we educate ourselves, we banter with facts, and we ensure we ensure that everybody is carried along. There are no segregations. When we get into the show, we don't want to know what village you're from or what political party you align with. We come here as one family. We come here as Nigerians. We come here to put ourselves together and ensure we have the best for Edo. So I want to thank you, Miss. I saw like on your link is PNK. That yes, I like PNK. But from the show of yesterday, we called you Madam K. We want to thank you for coming to the show, for giving us your time. And we congratulate you for being a flag bearer of your party. And we will support you in every way we can going forward. And we will try to market you in the little way we can as well. So we thank you for coming, and we thank every other person on the show, the people on Facebook, social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, everybody watching. We say thank you for coming to the show. Thank you for the questions. If there are more questions, please keep asking your questions wherever you are. We would have them answered as we know her schedule can be tight, but we'll try as much as possible to bring her again to the show to answer more questions and get to know more about her. Like I always do, today we have the proverb. My proverb for today says, "Rain does not fall on one roof alone." The African proverb for today says, "Rain does not fall on one roof alone," which means trouble comes to everybody at one point or another in life. We all get troubles in life, even though the degree or the reason vary. Yes. When there's a problem and people ignore it, it goes round. When something affects a person and other people ignore it, the next day it might happen to another person that has ignored it. That is what I'm trying to explain. When we see a problem, it is only best in our collective effort to try and reach out to ensure that the problem is solved or is we put hands together to try to resolve it or eradicate it. That is my proverb for you for today. Anyways, we've come to the end. Thank you, Madam K. Thank you, Izegbe. Thank you, Toniedo. Thank you to Mr. Osa, Mr. John Bosco, Obedient AI, IK King, Mr. Conco, Mr. Tukbo. These are the people in the studio. For Mr. Agariva, he has left. We thank you all for giving us your time. And we thank everybody on social media, Facebook, Instagram again. Thank you for coming today. Have a beautiful week ahead. We see you guys on Friday. Madam K, we do the shows every Mondays and Fridays, 3 p.m. your time. If you're available, I'll share the link out. You can come up. Just go on the YouTube or platform. You can join us at any time you want to. Your manifesto can be read here. We can deliberate on it as well if you want to. This is an open house. Thank you very much.
And also have a time where maybe the people will just, tell me how they feel. It's also very important. Instead of just hearing me talk at them, let's feel their pulse.
Oh, sure. Yeah. We'll do that. We'll do that as time goes.
Whenever you think it's convenient, that's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you all.
That would have been a great idea for you to feel our pulse because we the first.
Make una not too vex. Everything will work out fine. And make una just make the right choice. So I also want to hear from you. Let me feel your pulse. Let me, it helps. Not just me talking at you. They say who wear the shoes, know where it hurts.
Yes, true, sir. True, sir. Thank you very much.
It's very important to me to know how
you guys. See you on Friday.
Not just what I think you feel, but how you feel. Yeah.
Oh, okay. See you on Friday. Bye for now. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.